Lyra Voss opened her eyes to find Elder Varuk Stonehide looming over her sleeping pod, his massive frame blocking out the dim purple glow of the station's night cycle. The Corthian elder's stone-gray fur bristled with what she had learned to recognize as barely contained irritation, and his amber eyes held the weight of 1,000 unspoken judgments. "We need to talk, human," Varuk rumbled, his voice like grinding tectonic plates. Lyra sat up slowly, her hand instinctively reaching for the plasma cutter she kept under her pillow. Living on Frontier Station Epsilon meant sleeping armed was simply common sense. But Varuk made no threatening moves. He simply stood there, arms crossed over his barrel chest, waiting with the patience of mountains. "It's 0300 hours, Elder," Lyra said, rubbing sleep from her eyes. "This couldn't wait until morning?" "The Cubs have made their choice," Varuk said flatly. "By ancient law, I must inform you immediately. There are rituals to observe." Lyra's blood went cold. She knew enough about Corthian culture to understand that when an elder invoked ancient law, things were about to get complicated. The Corthians were a warrior species, proud and territorial. With social structures that had evolved over millions of years, humans, by contrast, had been in space for barely 3 centuries. "What choice?" she asked carefully. Varuk's jaw tightened, his fangs briefly visible. "My clan's cubs have elected you into their pack. You are now, according to our oldest traditions, considered pack mother to 17 Corthian young." The words hung in the air like a malfunctioning gravity field. Lyra stared at the elder, certain she had misheard. "I'm sorry." "What?" "You heard correctly." Varuk's tone carried the exhaustion of someone who had already argued this point many times and lost. "For the past 6 cycles, you have been teaching the cubs in the station's education wing. You have fed them, disciplined them, protected them from the hydroponic bay's security drones when they attempted their creative redistribution of vegetables. The cubs have voted unanimously. You are pack." Lyra thought back to her work as the station's civilian education coordinator. The Corthian cubs had been her most challenging students. Wild and energetic, but also curious and surprisingly affectionate once they trusted you. She had treated them no differently than the human children under her care, with firm boundaries and genuine warmth. "Elder Varuk, I'm honored. Truly. But I'm human. I don't have fur. I can't howl properly. And I'm pretty sure I'd fail at teaching them to hunt." "All irrelevant," Varuk said, though something that might have been amusement flickered in his eyes. "The cubs do not choose with their minds, human. They choose with their hearts, and their hearts have chosen you." He moved to her small window, gazing out at the swirling nebula beyond the station. "You understand what this means? You would be bound to the clan. You would be expected to attend pack gatherings, to share in our festivals, to stand as family. When those cubs face their trials of ascension in 10 years, you would stand as witness. When they mate and have cubs of their own, you would be grandmother to their line." Lyra stood, wrapping her thermal blanket around her shoulders. "And if I refuse?" Varuk turned, and now his expression held something she had never seen in a Corthian warrior before: vulnerability. "Then you break 17 young hearts. And you teach them that bonds forged in trust can be discarded. That someone they love can simply walk away." End quote. The weight of those words settled on Lyra's shoulders. She thought of little Vex, who brought her strange rocks he found in the cargo bay. Each one a treasure. Of Kira, who practiced writing human letters until her claws ached, just to leave notes on Lyra's desk. Of Tom and Gar, the twin troublemakers who once fought off a drunken miner twice their size because he had insulted their teacher Lyra. "What exactly would this involve?" she asked quietly. Varuk's posture relaxed slightly. "A ceremony. 3 days hence. You would receive the mark of pack. Here." He tapped his left shoulder. "It is painful. Our ink is designed for our thicker hides, but it will fade naturally if you choose to leave before the cubs reach maturity. And, politically, the other clans will think I have lost my mind," Varuk admitted. "We have never accepted an outsider into pack, let alone a human." There will be challenges to your legitimacy. There will be elders who refuse to acknowledge you. But, he paused, and something like pride entered his voice. The cub's choice is sacred. Once made and accepted, it cannot be unmade. You would be under clan protection. Any insult to you would be an insult to Stonehide itself. Lyra walked to her desk, where 17 hand-drawn pictures covered the surface. Crude crayon drawings of her and the cubs, rendered in the enthusiastic style of young children everywhere, regardless of species. One showed her with exaggerated stone-gray fur and fangs, standing proudly among the pack. She picked up that particular drawing, studying the careful way her face had been rendered, the clear love in every crooked line. When you were young, Lyra asked, did you have someone outside your immediate family who made you feel safe? Who saw you, not as a future warrior, but just as you? Varuk was silent for a long moment. My pack mother. She was not my birth mother. But she chose me when my parents fell in battle. She taught me that strength is not just in fang and claw, but in standing for those who need you. Lyra smiled softly. Then, you already know my answer, Elder. The massive Korthian actually smiled, a sight rare enough to be remarkable. The cubs will be insufferable about this. They have been planning a celebration for weeks. Certain you would accept. They were that sure. They are young but not foolish. They know pack when they see it. Varuk moved toward the door, then paused. One more thing. Lyra Voss, in 3 years, when the cubs enter their aggressive phase and test every boundary you set, when they challenge your authority and make you question every choice you have made, remember this moment. Remember that they chose you, not despite your differences, but because of them, because you showed them that family is not bound by species or tradition, but by the choice to show up, day after day, and care. After he left, Lyra stood in her quiet quarters, watching the station slowly rotate through the cosmos. Somewhere in the Warren-like clan quarters, 17 cubs were probably wide awake, waiting for news of her decision. She touched the spot on her left shoulder where, in 3 days, she would bear the mark of Clan Stonehide. It would hurt, Varuk had warned. But pain faded. What remained was the knowledge that somewhere in the vast darkness of space, she had found something she had not known she was searching for. She had found her pack, and they had found her.